This is Sway.
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 In the morning.
In the morning.
In the morning.
No shade.
Wake your fuck ass up. That crust out your eyes.
Sway in the morning, Shade 4-5. I'm sure who does this belong to? This is a monumental day here at Shade 4-5. This is a milestone that's taking place right here. We got a group of individuals here that have been stumping and making their mark since the early 90s. When they first came out on the scene and created this movement. That on the West Coast, we wasn't quite sure what it was all about. We used to, we knew it was a lot of ruckus. It felt like a lot of chaos and a lot of anxiety.
Right.
And it just seemed like a group that really had a lot on their chest and wanted to get it off. And one thing that was unique about them, similar to my good friend Tech Nine, who is friends with them as well.
Tech Nine?
Y'all still friends, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay, it's the garb and their presentation and how they came out on the scene with makeup on and faces of clowns and what was the significance of that. And they're going on to do a whole lot of great things. Most recently, the Juggalo March that's taking place in Washington. That's this weekend, right?
Saturday.
This Saturday.
Yes, sir.
Welcome them to the show for the first time, ICP, a.k.a. Insane Clown Posse!
I can't believe we're here.
I cannot believe it.
This feels good. It feels good for real, man.
Yeah, man. Finally, Jay is here. What up, man?
What up, though, man?
How
This
you
is
doing?
this an honor. This is a privilege. You know what I'm saying? Shady 45, Sway. Shout out to Eminem. Detroit. Well, worldwide iconic. Michael Jackson stature.
Yeah.
It's
But
awesome.
back down to Detroit.
Back there, right?
Right. And it's been a long road, man. And we're proud to be here. We're very, very thankful and gracious to be here, man.
Yeah,
It
man.
feels good, man.
Shaggy, good to have you on the show too, brother.
Thank you, man.
The whole Eminem thing, we might it's over. It's old, but we never discuss it. Everybody knows.
The best way to describe it is high school beef.
High school
You know what I'm saying?
beef, yeah.
We're so grown now. It's like, who gives a fuck about that?
Yeah, that was a long time ago, right?
Yeah, it got pretty serious back then in Detroit. You know what I mean, with our camps. I think more so than maybe us as individuals.
Yeah.
Our camps.
Yeah.
But something really cool happened that officially ended all of that for us.
Okay, what was that?
Without question.
Uh-huh.
Something really cool happened, and that was the year Proof passed away.
Uh-huh.
And it was so epic for us because Proof was on like a mission sort of where he was squashing all of M's old beefs and things like that.
Yeah.
When M came out, he was wild style, name dropping everybody and he had a lot of beefs that were still like either still existing or weren't closed down yet or whatever,
Yeah.
And for Proof to reach out to us, we've never had very much respect. Our shit is so different.
Yeah.
We can understand that. You know what I mean? We're not stupid. We know this is a far off sort of thing. People don't understand it. People don't like what they don't understand. That's always been like that, And but for Proof to include us in his endeavors of trying to kill old beefs and to consider us something worth squashing and not saying fuck them all around, who cares what happens with them, let's go to all these other people that are relevant in the and to have respect in the industry. For him to want to include us and take the time to come to our office and kick it with us, and we had a bowling match. We had a bowling match. It was D12 versus ICP.
Who won, dude?
I don't even remember, man. We were
I don't think it never really finished.
Okay, cool.
we were sorry,
Don't worry about it.
We were all drinking, and we were at this place called
Magic Stick.
Yeah, the Magic Stick. And we had it was fun, man. We were doing kung fu moves and bowling, and then we went to St. Andrews and chopped it up with Proof all night, and it was very like those 2 days we spent with Proof were like we made sure before he came the first day we said, look, nobody ask if M knows he's here because Proof coming
Means.
is plenty.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It doesn't matter that like Proof coming is it doesn't matter if M knows that because we assumed he eventually would know.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter. This is respect enough for us to have Proof come out here and come to us. Come to our office, and he spit a verse on one of our groups at the time, Twisted. He spit a verse on the record, and and the time we spent with him those 2 days, it's hard not to feel like we were super close, you know, after that, because it meant that much to us. You know what I'm saying? Like to have him include us in that. We knew what they were doing.
Yeah.
We heard about it. But to include us and receive that phone call felt so good that we felt very close to him. And we weren't. I didn't know Proof. I didn't know M.
Yeah.
We didn't know them guys.
Yeah.
You know, we weren't part of that scene.
We came up a whole different way than they did, you know what I'm saying, the scene back in the day.
Yeah.
What was your way? You know, like what did this mean then? You know, with the makeup and the presentation.
Like, no disrespect, and nobody could, and please don't take it that way.
Yeah.
But we put in like groundwork. You know what I'm saying? We put in like business work.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
We instantly went the route of selling records, pressing them up and selling them, promoting them, instead of like crafting our
going
style,
to stores
freestyling.
over and over. Yeah, we were never a part of like, you know, the hip hop shop back then in Detroit
Or
where
the
you
battles
always
at
get
the
together
shelter.
freestyles and
Yeah.
you know.
We were flyering our CD in stores. You know, we were like, let's just go right to proving we can sell records and try taking that route instead of like you know, proving we can rap and getting discovered. We never tried to get discovered.
Right. Yeah.
We tried to just start up the mountain. It's a long fucking walk, but if you don't look back, you know what I'm saying, you just keep walking, eventually you'll get up that motherfucker, man. It's not
Turn
somebody
around
coming
be
and
like,
grabbing
"Damn,
you.
man, we're way up here, you know.
Nobody came and took us and brung us on tour and blew us up. That never happened, but we just kept walking slowly but surely. Years go by, and then we're like, damn, we came a little bit of a way, you know?
And y'all created your own platform, your own record label.
Yeah,
right?
and
You
we
signed-
got that whole design from a rapper named Isham the Unholy, you know? And on Eminem's first record, I believe he gives Isham kind of a shout-out. He says, I'm a cross between... who does he say? Marilyn Manson and Isham? Something like that. He said, yeah. And that was a shout out to because Isham was like brilliant.
Yeah.
You know, he was the first one we ever heard do what is called in Detroit the wicked shit. And that's the style that we call our style, which is a lot of times it's putting horror in the rap.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And elements of supernatural, I guess. You know, things that aren't real. Like we always said, we don't keep it real. We keep it entertaining. Like let your music be an escape instead of like having to deal. We live in a real world all day. We live in a world. We deal with the real world problems constantly. So let your music take you out of that shit. You know, to something that's an
Escapism.
escape, you know what I'm saying?
So the Miracle song, was that real? Was that a parody?
You know, I'm not embarrassed of Miracles because I had a newborn son, and I saw my son playing with fucking water coming out of the faucet and magnets and all that shit, and it took me back.
You don't know
to
where the
win
fuck
that-
that comes from, you know.
Yeah.
Like, everything in them is real and new and a miracle, you know.
And it's just that mind frame of look at a lightning bug. You know, we've all lived with lightning bugs, so they ain't shit. But that's a fucking insect emulating light out of its ass. You know what I'm saying? Like creating
Big
light.
deal.
You know, what if I could just concentrate, make my forehead glow? I mean, that's some fucking
That's some
shit.
shit, yeah.
Like, just because it's been here all along don't mean that shit ain't a miracle, you know?
Yeah.
And
Right.
what that song is trying to say, and by the way, when we talk to Juggalos or anybody supporting our music, from day one, we'll make any kind of record we want. Like, we're not afraid. We don't have any boundaries or anything that's not cool.
Yeah.
We're not judged by that. We're clowns. We say anything we want, you know?
Yeah.
And Miracles was where I was on that beat and where I was with my kids. And that's what we wrote and that's what we said. And we're proud of that, man.
That's
That's
a
100%
big song,
real.
man. That was been a big song.
Yeah,
Yeah, we were trying to figure out, is that a parody? Are they being, you know?
That's how everybody took it. You know what I'm saying?
like
But we were like, whatever, man.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah. And
It's all good.
however millions of views later on YouTube, it's still kicking, right?
Yeah, it's you know, I'm proud of that record though. It's just one of those records. We'll make any kind of record we want, and I advise every time I meet a new person coming out, I say, man, make sure you don't. I don't know what the proper term is, pigeonhole or pigeon.
Pigeonhole, that's it.
Yeah, don't pigeonhole yourself
Yeah.
by sticking to one style all the time, because then when you start to stray from that, you'll get criticized for that.
Right.
You know, and you want to be free to do everything off the rip. You know, now let me ask you something. Imagine having the ability to not give a fuck about nothing, like not be afraid of of being embarrassed.
That's the living manifestation of it. Is right there. Heather B.
You know what? That's a gift. That's a gift.
Yo, I
Yeah, it
fight
is.
with that, Bruce. I'm sorry, but I fight with that all the time. Like she'll tell you, I just want to get to a point where I don't give a fuck and just say whatever.
Imagine that though.
Yeah.
And I
Freedom.
keep telling him
I told him it's freedom. I just live in a free space. It's beautiful.
It is beautiful.
But in my situation, when I say certain things, like if an artist come up
repercussions.
Yeah, like,
and but imagine if you didn't have those, you know, and you could just say whatever the fuck, act how the fuck you want, you know what I'm saying? Not giving a fuck about nothing. You know what I'm saying?
Imagine if you're a scrubby dude and you're single and you're absolutely not afraid of rejection at all. You'll step to any hottie you ever see, right? And out of 10 hotties, one of them is going to be like, man, I appreciate your confidence. Your I'm so hot, people don't step to me. And you walked right up to me and said all that. I appreciate that.
Looking the way you do.
Right. And you're all, and now just imagine if somebody came on here and was acting cool as fuck, right? And then you asked them to bust a freestyle and they sucked. Like that shit'll go viral, right? But if some kid was like, oh, I got this, drop the beat, and kept fucking up, but kept going and trying, it would be funny at first, but then you wouldn't help but admire him. Like, he don't give a fuck. He keeps getting back up and going for it. You know what I mean? It's not as pivotal as somebody playing cool as fuck, and then they spit some rap and fuck it up, and then it's like mad embarrassing because this dude's ice cool and he just fucked up, But if it's somebody that's like, oh, I got this. I'm not a freestyler, but let me try. I admire that shit.
Yeah, let me ask you this, you guys, because I want to make sure we get this in. Juggalo, you're doing the Juggalo March on Washington. Yeah. For those who don't know what the Juggalo movement is about, can you break that down for us?
All right, man. We about to be here for a couple hours.
No. But we got like 12 minutes. So give two.
The march isn't so much about the movement; it's about what's happening to juggalos. You know what I'm saying? And juggalos, they're not only ICP fans; they're people that it's a mind frame. It's more than ICP. You know what I'm saying? There's a whole genre of like music that these motherfuckers listen to. You know what I'm saying? Like this type of shit we do, but it's more than just us. And juggalos are a huge group. It's a subculture, almost. You know what I'm saying? It's been called.
Yeah, it is a subculture.
It's just motherfuckers that think freely. You know what I'm saying? That don't.
They don't discriminate.
They can beat themselves. You know what I'm saying?
They don't judge.
They may have been the picked on ones in school and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? But when they go to an event, you know what I'm saying, with other juggalos, instantly. You know what I'm saying? They're surrounded by motherfuckers just like juggalos.
You could be strangers. There's special calls and signs you could do that other juggalos are recognized with, and it's immediate dopeness. Like there's a camaraderie there. Like, and people go to these events, they feel like an outcast. They feel like nobody likes the shit they like. Nobody's nobody's the kind of person they are. They go to a Juggalo event and they see that they got all this in common with all these other people. They immediately feel close to them people. Yeah. Like, dang, man, this ain't like other shows where I think I'm going to get into a fight at any second. I feel at home here.
Wait, hold up. You can get into fights, though.
Oh, yeah.
At the gathering of the Juggalos. There's fights that happen, right?
No, not at the gathering. Not between Juggalos.
Not between Juggalos.
No,
but
usually security or, you know what I'm saying, or police or like some other outside.
If you're a whack artist, if they don't like the artist on stage, do people ever?
No. Well, if the artist on stage, this is what you're talking about. I agree. Okay. I seen our heroes catch it,
Right, yeah.
But here's why.
It's like, oh, man.
Number one, if you
just want to run and hide,
if you go up at the gathering and you don't acknowledge that you're at the gathering and you don't acknowledge that these people are from all over the country, but we're like, let's say the gathering is 45 minutes outside of Cleveland, right? And you're up there yelling Cleveland. The Juggalos know instantly you don't even know what you're playing, so they don't know if you really have love for what they're about. And you're yelling Cleveland every between every song, and they're like, "Shit, we're from all over the world." And this guy, they're not yelling.
I'm from Oakland.
Yeah. And then like, and then and so people catch it.
Wait, stop.
No, he's saying like a Juggalo.
Okay. No,
I'm not from Oakland.
Okay. I was about to say, yo, man.
And I just put that on my ass. I really didn't know you were from Oakland.
I'm from Oakland. Yeah. You must have sensed it. That's the power of the town. That's town.
There you go.
There you go. The FBI. What is the relationship with you guys and the FBI?
In 2011, the FBI came out for the first time ever.
Now, this is where the march boils down to. This shit right here.
In 2011, they came out with something called the FBI's gang assessment list. And they had the top 10 gangs in the country. And they had Crips, Bloods, MS-13.
Black Kings, all that.
Aryan Nation, all kind of dangerous, drug
killers. You know what I'm saying?
drug
Straight
moving,
murderers,
weapons, weapons shipping,
not giving a fuck, fucking
Murderers.
stab your mom in the throat, motherfucker.
And then they had juggalos on the list. They had
Juggalos were on that
the
top
list.
10.
On the list?
Yeah, juggalos.
We were just like,
And we're like, how the fuck can that be? You know, like, why does that even make sense?
see how
Like,
funny that sounds?
and we laughed,
I'm
we laughed
laughing,
too. We laughed
But
too,
it's
though.
serious shit.
It was funny, but then, since then, those seeds planted in 2011 have grown, and now there's actual penalties to being an official gang member in the eyes of the government. Like, if you get popped, starting from small shit, if you get popped for a little bit of weed, you're going to be sentenced harder. You're going to catch a stiffer penalty.
Because you're labeled as
You're
a gang member.
You know,
so you could get a crosswalking ticket.
The district attorney's going to be like, this is a gang member, Your Honor.
Yeah.
You
And
know?
you also get
you're a
entered
juggalo.
into the gang database because of that.
You get entered, you get pulled over.
Real shit.
Real shit. And it goes even further.
But how do they determine if you're a juggalo?
Right.
If
Because
you're wearing this, you got a shirt on, a tattoo,
or a sticker on your car, or a
sticker
T-shirt.
on your car.
This is one logo. This is
This is
the most
FBI
known.
considered as
probably,
a gang insignia or whatever.
But what does the logo mean?
It's our record label. It's a psychopathic record.
But how
But
did it get
it's-
started? Like, how did you
idea
guys
for
get
it.
on their list? Like,
I'll tell you,
what
a
brought the
book came out.
attention?
We didn't know either until this book came out by an author named Steve Miller, who's a criminal writer, and he broke it down like this: if you're the police department of a rural city, Grass Lake, Iowa, or something.
Okay.
All right, we use that as an example. And you're able to say there's a gang active in your city, you get government funding to combat in that gang.
Right,
Oh,
these little
wow.
country
You know what I'm
towns
saying?
and shit.
And
yeah.
they know that's not a fucking gang.
So
Those are just juggalos,
they'll see
but they're
like
able
four
to
kids
say.
still hanging out under the fucking freeway, you know what I'm
And
saying? Whatever.
three of them got a
Wearing
misdemeanor.
ICP shirts, you know, they're like, oh, that's a gang. That's a gang.
That's a gang,
That's
you know?
a gang.
So they
what
can get
do
new
you-
billy clubs or tasers or whatever for the little city.
What do you hope to accomplish with the march this Saturday, and how many people you anticipate to meet you out there?
We've never done anything like this. We don't do this kind of thing, like anything political.
This
or
ain't
anything
something
like
that we're gonna do next year. We can see the problems this year and improve it next year. This is
This
once
in a lifetime thing.
So
we're
we
just
don't know.
trying to. That's why we appreciate being here so much. We're trying to let the nation know, because we give up on the government. We tried to sue the FBI. It's been thrown out 3 times. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We're trying to let the nation know, the people know that and it takes more than the bands to say it. It takes the people, the juggalos, to actually come out and say it. And that way people can see that and hear about this march, and they'll know, well, at least they're not okay with it. Because are there juggalos that are gang members? Sure. Are there juggalos that are gang members in the name of juggalos? There's probably that too. There's millions of juggalos. We've sold 8 million albums.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's millions and
Did you hear
millions of
that?
juggalos.
Did you hear that? You sold 8
So,
million.
so are they out there? Of course they are. But you're talking about 2%, even
If
that,
that,
which
yeah.
ain't even
Yeah.
probably reality. You know what I mean? So like, we just want people to have the right to say, "Hey, I'm not a fucking gang member." You know what I'm saying? I work at the mall. I sell shoes, man.
You gotta understand that like this is real shit. You know what I'm saying? People are losing their jobs. People are losing custody of their kids. People
they
are
got that
being
label.
denied
Because
to
they're
get in the
in the
military, getting
Yeah.
kicked out of the military.
But can you
people are going to
imagine-
jail over this.
And they're experiencing this, and we know them as musicians, and
And that's
people
all
on
we
record,
are,
That's
man.
all they are. So imagine how many so-called blood, Crip, and other gang affiliations that people are being labeled to, just like juggalos, that they're not gang members, but they're just getting these labels. So you're not just marching for juggalos; you're marching for
We're
other
marching
folks.
for discrimination.
Yeah,
Period.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like all of discrimination. Like man, it doesn't matter if you're a juggalo or you understand or dig us at all. That's not even what we're talking about.
Yeah.
We're talking about, what the fuck? Is anybody cool with what's happening to us? Like, it doesn't even matter about us.
Yeah.
It matters about taking
About
a
the
whole
situation.
Yeah.
group of people and labeling something like that on them negative.
Yeah.
Like, this is a shame this happened.
Yeah, in America.
Juggalos being part of something gave people something to belong to.
Yeah.
We would
And-
say we would just send us a letter like NWA got. You know what I'm saying? We would love that. You know?
Why's it got to
Cool,
be
you know?
officially a gang? Like, what's going? And if this happens,
wonder,
what's next?
So I'm sure juggalos, they sit on both sides of the political spectrum. It could be Democrats, Republican, whatever. You know what I mean? So is there any kind of political undertones with this?
Absolutely not. We don't know shit about politics.
Right.
We don't give a fuck about
I don't
it.
even know what a political undertone is.
Right.
A hidden agenda.
Look, this happened under a different president. We're currently under another president. This isn't a march against the president or something like that. You're just about discrimination in general. Is that
We have our own opinions.
We're about standing up.
but this
and-
ain't
and
got.
we're about like, you know, of course, in a perfect world, you know, we'd want the FBI to come out and say, yo, we fucked up. You know what I'm saying?
Or
Juggalos
be clear
aren't a
about
gang,
it.
right?
Like, Juggalos are not a gang.
Right.
They're our gang
But we know
members
that's not
or
going to
something.
happen. You know what I'm saying? It's the FBI we're talking about. These same motherfuckers that hunted down Al Capone, and you know what I'm saying? They ain't going to be doing all that. But, you know, so this is just our way to get as many people to look at the situation going on and us saying, fuck you. You know what I'm saying?
Like we're saying, fuck you back. At least the Juggalos are upset about that label.
Yeah.
You know, because our concerts have turned into fucking gang rallies. Our merchandise has turned into gang memorabilia.
Booking tours is fucking almost impossible. Doing our fucking our once a year fucking festival, gathering of Juggalos.
Y'all having problems with that?
Hell yeah.
Yo, who wants to fucking put a gang rally at their fucking campground? Who wants to insure a gang rally?
Who wants to play a gang rally? Who wants to, you know, any of that? It's
National Chains don't carry our shit. Who wants to carry gang fucking clothes? You
we've been top 10 selling bands since the 90s in the Hot Topics chain. And the minute the gang label came out, they yoked us right up out of there, man.
They ain't about selling gang apparel.
We're not going to sell gang apparel at the mall. You're not even allowed to wear that shit at the mall.
You're not even at the mall.
Thrown out at the mall for wearing that. You know, I mean, like, who? It's okay to not like our shit or make fun of it. We laugh too.
Whatever. We're used to it.
But to technically make it arguable that it's against the law.
Yeah.
To be a juggalo.
Yeah.
Like, what's next?
But can I ask something? Because like, what actually determines what a gang is? Is it the numbers? Is it violent incidents? I mean, like, how do you determine just because you guys have a large following that you're a gang as opposed to somebody else who is a popular artist that has a lot of
fear?
fans?
You know what I'm saying? From what I can understand, fear. You got these little like groups in these little cities. You know what I'm saying? This didn't happen in major cities. This happened in little tiny, you know what I'm saying, rural cities. You know, these little towns where there's like, you know, 6 kids that hang out wearing fucking
having
shit
a barbecue
with a hatchet man on it.
weekend.
You know what I'm saying? The police are freaking out. Like, yo, man, what's going on here?
It's not even
they're fucking scared of it, and then they
fear
hear
and
they can get the
opportunity.
funding if they say they got this gang shit going on. So next thing you know, boom, it starts spreading. You know what I'm saying? This other city catches on. You can get this money, you know, if you claiming you got this gang in your city.
I think it's
know?
opportunity too, straight up. You know, get that money. You know what I'm saying? Say that that's a gang. You know, they know what it is. They're not stupid.
Has there been any major like drug busts with people in the name of juggalos?
Yes.
But
yes, it's been murders. It's been everything. You know,
is that what they're basing it on? Is in the name?
How many people rocking Metallica shirts have fucking murdered motherfuckers? You know what I'm saying?
How many Wayne Newton fans are fucking molesters? You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, Wayne Newton probably sold. Right though. I mean, if you're out of millions, if you're looking for it, you're gonna find it.
Let me take a couple of callers. They've been holding on for a while, and I want to make sure we get to your fans. James from Columbia. Good morning. How you doing, James?
Yo, James.
I'm good. Good morning, everybody.
We got ICP on Shade 45, man.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe that's not the
I'm
sound.
a citizen over here. So I gotta make Jay answer for the people. You know, so that's what happened on social media, man. Tom McDonald and you got into it. Tom McDonald's wife's or girlfriend screenshot a bunch of conversations with you. You know, let's see what your integrity measures up to, Jay. Let us know what happened, man.
I don't even know who you're talking about or what kind of social media you're talking about.
Yo, man, she's down there in Cali, man, and you were after the girl. She wasn't.
Okay, man.
I don't even know what he's talking about. But who's that?
Ronald's brother?
I don't know what the fuck that's about. I don't do social media, man. I send a tweet probably once every 2 weeks.
Danielle is on the line from Cali. Good morning, Danielle.
Good morning.
Good
Whoop, whoop.
Whoop, whoop.
Holy shit. Sorry. Dude, I love you guys. ICP, I've been down with you guys for 19 years, since I was 11 years old. I can't fucking wait till you guys are in Oakland for the Great Malenko tour, and the end of this month, I'm going to be there. Malenko was the first CD I heard. I feel like I have to redeem myself. I met you guys at the Gathering 17, and I couldn't even fucking speak. I was crying. Because you guys have been such a fucking influence in my life, and Shaggy was like, don't cry, you're going to fuck up your face paint. That's my husband if I was
Not
mute.
everybody uses a good shit like
That's my
us.
husband if I was mute, because I couldn't fucking speak. I pointed at my program and, handed you a pen, and he was like, yo, is she mute? Could she talk? But I couldn't. I was in awe.
Well,
I love you guys so much. You guys have done so much for me. And just to let you know, I'm a fucking first grade teacher. I've been down for 19 years.
You hear this ruthless gang member on the phone right
I'm an
now?
educator.
put the gun up.
Right.
First grade teacher. Danielle, hold on the line. Well, I'm going to get your information so we'll give it to them. They can send you something, all right?
Hell yeah.
Hold on the line, okay? Yeah, it's so cool. It's cool. We got Tim from Georgia. Tim, go ahead.
Tim, what's
going on, y'all? Woo woo. Shout out to everybody in the room.
Shout out to you, man.
Yeah, that march y'all are doing, man, I really appreciate that. I got jumped in downtown Atlanta, and I practiced jiu-jitsu Muay Thai for most of my life, and I ended up kind of beating everybody up. And then since I got jumped by more than 3 people, it ended up I got charged with gang violence, and they didn't get anything.
Yeah.
See how it is?
Well, if you win a fight, you're automatically getting pinched for it. You know.
Yeah.
You got to make sure you lose them.
You know what? Man, this march is taking place this Saturday at the National Mall at Lincoln Memorial in Washington, D.C. at 2 p.m. But get there early. If you could relate to this story that the Insane Clown Posse is telling us about, y'all got to come back and we got to talk music.
I want to.
doubt,
I'd love to do that.
Okay, man.
Especially Oakland music.
Yes, we can talk all music.
Day we know about that.
Okay, and unfortunately, we got to let you guys go because you got more interviews to do. But this is just the beginning.
Yes, let's do
us,
that, man.
All right,
Yeah.
Too dope, man. Pleasure,
Yes,
man.
thank you. For real, thank you.
Absolutely, man. It's good to have you guys on. It's so much more to your story that we only have so much time. But
Wrestling.
wrestling. He's a big wrestling fan.
shit, yeah.
That's a whole nother show.
Yeah, that's a whole nother show.
I'm crippled up from it.
Okay, so y'all have to.
I ain't big.
Y'all have to come back. All right.
Absolutely.
All right, Insane Clown Posse, ladies and gentlemen. Give me that 6 foot, 7 foot. Sway in the morning. Shade 4-5.
It's Sway in the morning, only on Shade 45.